Radhey Govinda Govinda Bol, Radhe Radhe Govinda Bol.
Radhey Govinda Govinda Bol, Radhe Radhe Govinda Bol,
Radhe Govinda Govinda Bol, Radhe Radhe Govinda Bol.
Radhey Govinda Govinda Bol, Radhe Radhe Govinda Bol.
Tero Radhe Govinda Prana,
Tero Radhe Govinda Prana,
Tero Radhe Govinda Prana,
Tero Radhe Govinda Prana.
As kah puni puni sab shruti purana.
As कहा पुनि पुनि सब श्रुति पुराण
As kah puni puni sab shruti purana.
अस कहा पुनि पुनि सब श्रुति पुराण
मन गांठ
राधे
मन गांठ कपट की खोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
मन गांठ कपट की खोल राधे राधे गोविंद बोल
मन गांठ कपट की खोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
मन गांठ कपट की खोल राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
The writer of this Kirtan, Jagadguru Shree Kripaluji Maharaj, is suggesting, he says, say Radhe Govind. So somebody will ask, why should we take the names of God Radhe Govind? There should be a reason behind your every action. So he explains the reason and he says that Radha Govind are your very life heirs. They are your eternal relatives. Now, supposing a child had gotten separated from the parents, and later on as a teenager he came to know that this is my father and this is my mother. Even without trying, the child would develop love for those parents. Likewise, our soul is a child of God. That is why we pray, Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva. Oh Radha Krishna, you are my spiritual father and you are my spiritual mother. Now, if you love your parents, do you all love your parents? Of course. How much more you should love your spiritual parents? And they are your father and mother since eternity. They have been waiting for you, but we have been forgetful of them. So, because they are your relatives, take their name. So why I can make God my relative? Oh, this is very presumptuous. Many people, if they wish to meet the mayor of a city, they find it difficult. And then to meet a senator is even more difficult. And to meet the governor, Haji Sahab, really, if you are lucky, it will happen. And if you wish to meet the president, it may never happen. God is the president of the entire world. And we are saying that don't just meet him, consider him to be your relative. How can I be so presumptuous? He says that God Himself has said this in His Vedas. Shruti stands for Vedas. Another name for the Vedas is Shruti. Because the Vedas were originally coming down by the oral tradition. The Guru spoke it to the disciple. The disciple was Shrutidhari and would hear and remember, and then at the right time pass it on to his disciple. Because it was knowledge that came through the ear, another name for it was Shruti. And that is also called the Vedas. So in the Shruti, God says, Amritasya vai putra. All the souls in this world are my little children. Now it is God's statement Himself. If you say, God is my father, and somebody says, who says? He says, God Himself says. So the Shrutis are saying, that is why I say Radhey Govinda. What will be the benefit of saying Radhey Govinda? The benefit is that your mind will get purified. That is the key to a successful life. To live a successful life, a life is considered successful if you are feeling good from inside. Not a mental goodness. Today that even a crazy person also says, I'm feeling good. The inner kind of goodness that brings a cheer, a sense of satisfaction from within, that is a consequence of the state of your mind. So this mind is such an instrument that it can make heaven out of hell and hell out of heaven. These were the words of John Milton, writer in English a few centuries ago. He said, the mind is a place of its own, and in itself can make heaven out of hell and hell out of heaven. What does that mean? That means you may be living in paradise, but if your mind is agitated, disturbed, you will experience the torments of hell. And you may be in the hellish of conditions, but if your mind is calm and harboring noble thoughts, you will experience heaven. So you have to first bring heaven inside of you before you become eligible to go to heaven. Otherwise you go to heaven also, it will not serve the purpose. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna did not promise Arjuna the kind of knowledge that would bring peace on the outside. He bestowed on Arjuna the kind of knowledge which would enable him to retain peace from inside, irrespective of the challenges in the external situation. And that requires purification of the mind. Now, everybody realizes that anger, greed, desire are not helping us in any way. And the whole world is desirous of getting rid of these defects. What is the way to do it? You can keep on thinking, I need to do positive thinking, I need to do positive thinking. It will not solve the problem. How will you actually become a positive thinker? Anybody? How will you become a positive thinker? There was once a village in India where the only source of water was a single well for the 100 people living there. You may have seen such hamlets in Bharatvarsh. Now a dog fell into the well and died. And the consequence was that the well water became putrefied. And all the villagers started falling sick, getting dysentery, diarrhea. So they went to a Guruji in the nearby village and said, Gurudev, we are all in a fix because the well water is polluted. Kindly guide us what to do. Guruji said, look, a well fills up from below. So just keep emptying the water from above. Do kar seva, voluntary seva. Once you take out 5,000 buckets, the water will have cleaned and then you will be back to where you were. They said to all the villagers, over the next 48 hours, we are all going to do kar seva. And they lined themselves up to throw the water out, to pull it out with the ropes. But water seemed to have cleaned up. And after a few days, again it was polluted and people were falling sick. They went to Guruji and they said, Gurudev, we did what you asked. It worked for a little while, but then the water is again unclean. Guruji said, did you take out the dead dog? No, we did not do that. So the dead dog was still inside. Now you keep changing the water, it'll again dirty the clean water. Likewise, in our mind are dead dogs. Right? 3 years ago, your Nanad in India said this to you. Oh my God, why did she say it? So these impure thoughts are what are creating impurity in our mind. Now you wish to purify the mind. If the dog is dead inside and you say, think pure, positive, it will not work. You need to have a Ramban solution to purify your mind. What is the Ramban solution? This is bhakti. Sri Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, Mam cha yo vyabhicharen, mam hi yo vyabhicharen, bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. He says, look Arjun, your mind is made of the 3 gunas, tamogun, rajogun, sattvagun. And it's oscillating in these 3 gunas. Sometimes you become sattvic. You say, yes, I must go for the Sunday program. And sometimes the Rajogun starts rising. What Sunday program? There's a movie, why not go and see the movie? It'll give me so much of entertainment. And then Tamogun overtakes you. You say, forget movie and Sunday program, let me go to sleep. The same person's thoughts are oscillating. These are the 3 gunas. And the 3 gunas are keeping you in the material consciousness. But Sri Krishna says, Arjun, I am beyond them. I am Trigunatit, transcendental to the gunas. Because God is not material. The gunas are material. God is divine. So he says, Arjun, if you attach your mind to me, your mind will rise beyond the 3 gunas and also become transcendental. So doing this bhajan is not a sentimental thing that the saints are telling us to do. Once I was before we had our temple in Dallas. So there was at that time one major temple in Dallas, the DFW temple, like the Sunnyvale Hindu temple here. So my lecture was there. And before that was the yoga meditation workshop that I conducted, and there was a half an hour break. So in the half an hour break, they took me to sit in the center where the children Bal Vihar classes used to happen. On this side were the classes going on, and there was, these American style walls, thin stucco walls, and on this side I was sitting. So I was hearing what is going on inside. The teacher asked, why should we worship God? Why do we have to worship God? Children, please answer. One child spoke up. Of course, I could not see the face. The child said, Indians have to worship God. It's only Indian parents who keep on saying. Of course, other parents are also saying, but the child with the little mind said, these Indians are after us. Worship God, worship God. So, why is it that we have to worship God? So, Sri Krishna says, this is the most effective way for purifying your mind. You attach your mind to the all-pure, and your mind will also get purified. Now you attach your mind to rasgullas. What do you expect your mind will become? A rajasic? The happiness of the objects of the senses. Somebody attaches their minds, if you see Bollywood movies, and at night what are you going to dream of? You're going to dream of Shah Rukh Khan and company. So where you are investing your mind, the mind becomes tadvat, tadroop, tanmay. And if you have the good sense to attach your mind to your eternal father and mother, the mind will become pure. So that is why he is saying, oh my mind, say Radhey Govinda and cleanse this kapat within the temple of your mind and heart.